the Hobby Plus CR18P Evo V2 rock band. A great RTR out of the box, but can we make it better? That's what we're going to try to figure out in this video. So it's looking like, because I didn't take the body off or the this part off, I have no choice but to take this off to get to that front drive shaft, so I can get it off. So I'm gonna pop this off. I'm gonna pop this off, and I'm gonna pop the new one on, and we'll come back later. Quick tactic change. So before I made a really dumb move and took disconnected the engine from the skid plate, I'm actually going to disconnect the skid plate from the body right there, and then hopefully this will just be able to like lift up and I can access that with no problem. So we're gonna try that. Like I said, I'll come back when it's done.
Much later.
Never mind. Found my access point, and it's right there. So thankfully, I just gotta put these screws back on. But I'm gonna take this damn drivetrain off first, and we'll be back. So really quick tip: when you unscrew the drive shaft, you want to push the drive shaft in, and then that'll help to I guess relieve the pressure or whatnot on the screw, and then the screw will come off, and then boop, you can pop it off. So we now have our front drive shaft 100% off. I am going to do the thing. So we will be back. So I got my front drive shaft on, at least the one bit, and now I'm just going to screw these 4 screws back on. These screw the skid plate onto the frame. However, the skid plate also connects to the frame on the other side as well by like tabs. So just be aware of that if you take the skid plate off. And I'm gonna screw this in, and then I'll flip this over. I'll show you what I mean. All right, so the screws. Okay, so this is the screw, this is the screw, and then you got a screw here and a screw here that screw the skid plate on. But the skid plate also has these tabs right here and here and here and here, and there's holes on the inside here that it fits into to make it like really tight. So if you are ever doing work and you need to take the skid plate off, just kind of be cognizant of that, so you don't just rip the whole thing off thinking that, you know, it's just screwed on there, because it's not. It's funny the amount of hate I see for Phillips head screws in RC vehicles, and I mean, I kind of get it, y'all. Like, it is definitely nice when you have just one set of screws, one driver, maybe 2. You know, you don't need to have 3 or 4 floating around, especially, you know, different types. But you know, a lot more things are coming out that utilize the Phillips head screws. Cough, cough, the SCX30, cough, cough. You know, which is one of the reasons why I'm not getting one. But you know, yeah, they're cheap and they could be better, but at the same time, like, you know, everyone knows what a Phillips head screw is, and everyone has a Phillips head screwdriver in their house. You know what I mean? Many people have Allen wrenches in their house. You know, it's, I don't know. I just see a lot of people get like really bent out of shape about seeing Phillips head screws on their trucks, and I'm just kind of like, okay, I don't know, maybe I'm still new to the hobby and not jaded, so maybe I'll get jaded. saying, curse the Phillips head screws for the cowards that they are. Alright, there we go. Front drive shaft in, yay. Alright, so now front drive shaft's in. Now for the links. Huzzah. Alright, lower links are in. So the front links, you want to make sure that the orientation is correct. But it seems like these are going to be a little bit easier to get on than the rears. So we got a small screw in here. Okay, so I'm using the new hardware. It's a little tight, but not as tight as the back was. I don't know what the deal was with the back. It just felt really tight. Cool. Yeah, you see, and then unlike the back, with the front, there is no tab, so we can just connect the shocks right on there and call it a day. So let's get her done. Okay, so on this side, I did have that hardware issue where the screw felt a little bit tight going in. I had to jiggle it around a little bit, and then it finally went in. Didn't give me a fight, so I'm taking that as well. All right, and then now we're just gonna connect our shocks onto this, which connects here, and call it a day. Okay, front shocks. They don't. You got to put in the pivot ball, which is, if you've never seen this done, it's really easy. Just kind of seat it a little bit and then squeeze it in with pliers. Boop. Go boop. Yeah, it's good enough for government work. There we go. Boom. There it is. So, all right. Now we are going to go here. This goes here. Who? Hey. This goes here. To quote Ace Ventura, like a glove. Okay, because I don't think I got a good shot of the other side. Okay. Screw goes in here. We put the pivot ball on the shock there. Goes in like that. This goes in like that. Now this might seem a little snug, but it just goes right there and like a glove. All right, so there we go. Check it out. We have our high clearance links. We got our steel drive shafts. Let's do portal axles. Let's see if we can get this done before the battery dies. So it looks like the portals are pretty straight up. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You just got to make sure that you put the bushings or the O-rings in, and then pop that off, pop that on, and it should be good to go. If there's anything different, I'll let y'all know. But I think that's what we got going on. I'd be remiss if I didn't show at least a little bit what I was doing. So when you take off a axle cover, right, usually have 2 or 4 screws. It's all pretty much the same process. Just take the screws off. You got to make sure that you take your this off and don't lose your little thingy there for the tire. Take that off. Take the screws off. Boop. Now there it is. So that's the axle cover. As you see, we got all the gears there. We have a bushing here. Yep, it's a bushing. Looks like it's a bushing for the top. Yeah, that came off the top. So that goes for there because there's the bushing is still there for the bottom. What the heck? I'm gonna put a little utter butter there. There we go. And then also around the outside to help keep water out. At least that's what I've been told. I know it looks like a big gloppy mess. Take this hair out.
The next day.